Okay, if you've done epoxy projects, you probably had epoxy projects fail. It's just the nature of the beast. For example, I thought I came up with one of the coolest, newest ways to be able to pour epoxy and be able to blend pigments together and make it look very, very natural. And in order to do that, I built this. Something I thought was very, very genius. So the idea of this was you'd be able to mix up a couple different colors of epoxy in cups like these, put them in here, and then when you pour it, they would all pour at the exact same pace and same volume. That way you would get 3 different distinct colors and they would slowly blend together and look really cool. That was the idea of it. Now when I tried it, I did black, clear, black, and then I poured it down and I wanted the blacks to kind of blend into the clear, make it look nice and ominous and look really, really kind of cool. And when I first poured it, it started to work perfect. But after a little bit, it ended up looking like this. Like a solid black chunk of epoxy. So now I have this. I gotta think of something to do with it. I don't want to just throw it away because this is almost $100 worth of epoxy. So I want to try getting something out of it. So what I'm going to do is just take this, bust it up into a bunch of little tiny chunks, put those into a mold, pour more epoxy over top of that, and make a table out of it. Now I'm not the first person to think of this. I originally saw John Malicki do this, and he got the idea from Screaming Donkey, and I'm sure he got the idea from who knows? But this is going to be a really good opportunity to reuse a failed project for another project. And that way I'm not at a total loss. So the first thing to do, smash the shit out of this thing. Stupid ass epoxy. I hate epoxy. Never want to do it again. Hate it. Okay, anyone who says epoxy's fragile clearly has never tried smashing it apart. Alright, that's enough. Okay, so after smashing that epoxy up, this is everything that I got. The original piece was about 2 inches thick and it was hard. I never really realized how hard epoxy is until you go to smash it. It was a pain. Now, one thing I forgot to mention earlier was inside the epoxy, I had bark running all down the center of it. The reason for that is I wanted the bark down the clear part of the epoxy and then the black would be kind of coming in, making it look all like ominous and cool. But as you can tell, it didn't work out that well. But you know what? That's the way it goes. Projects fail sometimes, so just try to make the best of it, and that's what we're trying to do today. So these pieces right here are all the ones I'm going to be using. These are all going to be down in the bottom of the mold, and then it's going to get more deep pour epoxy poured over top of it so you can see these through it. So I'm just going to make a simple mold out of this piece of melamine I have. Also, this is my new shop kitten. Her name is Waffles, and she is damn adorable. And if you want to know more about building an epoxy mold or anything about epoxy, check this video out of mine. I go into a lot of detail about epoxy, like what kind to buy, how to pour it, and different things like stuff you could watch out for. It's a really great beginner video. It's something I wish I would have found when I was very first starting out with epoxy, because it really just caters to people who don't know anything about epoxy, and I try to walk you through exactly how to use it. Also to mention, if you watched that video, you know that packing tape works exactly the same as Tyvek tape. The only reason I'm using my Tyvek tape is because the packing tape is upstairs and I'm too lazy to go upstairs and get it. So that's why I'm using this. But if you're doing this, don't waste your money on Tyvek tape, just use packing tape. But now in doing this, we're going to run into a couple big problems. One is floating. And what I mean by that is if you take one of these really small pieces, it's actually really light. And if you were to just put it right down here into the form, pour all the deep pour in here, it's just going to float right up to the surface. So what we need to do is figure out how to fix that. And how I'm going to fix that is by just pouring about 1/4 inch or so of epoxy down on the bottom, putting all of this stuff down in here, pushing it down, letting it cure to maybe semi-cure, and then that way I could pour more on top of it and it's not going to float up. The second big problem is air bubbles and debris. And with debris and air bubbles, what I mean is if you take a look at it, these are all little pieces. There's a ton of that little bark in there. Little tiny pieces will chip off and it's going to hold a lot of tiny little air bubbles down inside there. Now, I'm not going to seal this up with painting a thin layer across the top of it because I think that's just too much work and it's not going to be worth it, because I think I figured out a better way to do it. So what I'm going to do is after the initial coat dries and everything is nice and stuck down in there, I'm going to take some deep pour epoxy, pour it in there just to about the top of the tallest piece, And then that way, all the air bubbles don't have that far to go. The debris is not going to float around in there if there is any, and won't get trapped up near the surface and look bad. And then after that dries, I'll pour more on top of that to bring it up as high as I want it to be. So this is basically going to be a 3-part pour. But since this is a 3-part pour, we need the right epoxies at the right time. Now choosing the right epoxy is pretty easy. You just go by the recommended depth of pour of each one of them. Now the first one is the tabletop. You never want to pour more than 1/4 inch at a time, and I'm saying that's kind of pushing it on its own. And you never want to mix up what I kind of say never mix up more than 10 to 12 ounces at a time. You could mix up more, but you need a bigger bucket to mix it in, because when you start pouring it real deep, the chemical reaction starts kicking off and it ruins the epoxy. It reacts just really nasty. It could start smoking, it could start curing. You just really want to avoid it. And then you have a medium pour style, which this is a Total Boat thick set. This is good for about 1/4 inch up to 1 inch. And then you have the deep pour. This is 2 to 4 inches deep. Now the thing about deep pour is if you pour it less than 1 inch, it doesn't set. It will always stay kind of like a malleable substance. It never actually gets hard. It needs that deep pour to kick off its own chemical reaction. So for the initial pour, since I want it about 1/4 inch or maybe just a hair bit more, we're gonna go with this medium set, and we're gonna pour it all the way across the bottom, put all the little pieces in there, let it cure for a little while to where it's not gonna float when I put the deep pour in there. Okay, so always use an epoxy calculator online to figure out how much epoxy you're gonna need so you don't end up accidentally wasting some. So for my initial pour, I need about 50 ounces. This is a 3-to-1 mix, so I need roughly about 12 ounces of hardener and then fill up the rest with the actual epoxy. Okay, here we go. Now, as far as how I'm setting these in here, as far as if there's a design or something I'm going for, no, not at all. It's just move it around, make it look cool, do whatever you want. Hey there. How's it going? Hi, I just want to pop in and say thank you so much for watching the video. The typical, can you please like and subscribe, drop a comment or anything like that? It really means a lot to me. I'm really trying to work my way up to 1,000 subscribers. I'm almost there, so I just want to say thank you so much and enjoy the rest of the video. Bye-bye. Okay, that's that as far as putting it all in there. I don't know what to say about it yet. I think it's too early to tell. Hopefully I don't have 2 ruined projects on my hand. But we'll just have to wait and see. Okay, so this is the first deep pour I'm doing. I did tint it because I want it to look a little ominous, a little darker, but I'm really trying not to go too dark because I still want you to see that it's actual bark down there, not just like weird black chunks by all. But then if I go too dark, it's just going to look like another black chunk of epoxy and I'm back to square one. Remember, always go back, pop all the bubbles. I think it came out pretty good. Okay, so this is the top pour. I'm really happy I did this one because it was Bubble City under there in that deep pour. So I am glad I came back. This is the Total Boat, which is a really nice epoxy. It's perfectly clear. It comes out great, but it's just very expensive. So I try to use it sparingly. But as you can see, it is just a sheet of glass. Now I only went about 1/4 inch deep on this one. Okay, so it's fully cured and I went ahead and popped it out of its mold. I actually think it looks pretty cool. You can pretty much see through it. I think I used a little bit too much black pigment because it's hard to tell actually what is in here. You can't really see that it's bark. It's just like kind of black chunks of something. But the epoxy cured up pretty much perfect, came out exactly the way I wanted it to. So now the next step is just make this into a table. And to do that, I have this big slab of yellow birch I found. I think it's gonna look really good with how dark this is. So what I'm gonna do is use this, build a simple frame around it, and then use the same kind of wood to build waterfall legs that go right off. Okay, so I did take the mold and I cut 45s on the bottom of it all the way around. Because the way I want this to look is the wood frame that goes around it, I want the top of it just a little bit, but I want to see a lot of it on the sides. So that's why I cut the 45s into it, so the top of it you're just going to see a slight sliver. Okay, so this is where we're at. I got the walls done, which are going to go up just like that. The 45 is going to sit right there on the other 45, and I cut these ends at 45s because this is where the actual legs are going to go, right here. But now, here's where I'm running into a problem. See, I'm not 100% sure how to connect this piece to the epoxy because it's going to go right up on the edge like that, and I don't want like a mechanical connection, say like a nail or a screw or something going into the side, because I want it to look nice and clean, but there's not a lot of glues that will actually bond this to the epoxy. So what I think might work is if I take a tabletop epoxy, brush it on the edge here real light, and then I can just mount it right here and let it cure, and it's going to make a perfect bond, I think. I don't know if it's going to work. I think it would work, because why wouldn't it? So I'm only going to start with just doing this side to see if it even works. If it works, then I'll do it to the rest of them. But if it doesn't work, then I only have to fix one side. Crap, too much. I put these clamps here, because hopefully I can just kind of like push it right up against it. Oh, no, sliding up. Crap. Put a little pressure on it. Not much, because I don't put too much pressure, it's going to slide up. Okay, when this cures, it should be a absolutely very strong permanent bond. All right, it's been about 24 hours. Let's see if this worked. I mean, it's rock hard in there. Okay, so it's been about 24 hours. This is fully cured. Okay, so it's been about 24 hours. The tabletop is fully cured in there. I mean, it's like rock hard, so maybe it worked. Oh, crap. Let's go. Oh, this tape is leaving behind so much gross residue. Which I don't know why I ended up using Tyvek, because in my mind it was like, oh, it's not going to stick, but it's not going to stick to the outside, this side, but the part that the epoxy was sticking to was the inside. Like, why? Stupid. Yeah, it worked. I mean, other than this residue, oh, it's gonna be a pain in the ass to get off. Yeah, worked out really nice. Now, just time to do the other side. Okay, so the other side's on here. It's tight, secured. Now I want to put some more down in both these channels. So I'm not worried about getting it a little messy, because as soon as I get this finished and I put the side legs right here on, I am going to put a little thin layer of tabletop epoxy on here just to make it look nice and clear and crisp. Okay, so that cured, and now it's time to put the side legs on. I think this is the only time in my life multiple 45s came together clean. And as you can tell, it's a very simple design. It's just clean and simple. And that's a broken knuckle. But now I'm just going to go ahead and do the same thing I was doing and put some epoxy on there, let it set, and see what it looks like. And this is what it ends up looking like. I ended up loving the way the wood looks too. I like how light it is compared to how dark the top is. It's the first time I've ever used yellow birch, and I love it. If I ever come across it again, I will definitely grab a couple slabs. But let me show you the coolest part of this, is this. Oh, so cool. So since this is going at the bottom of the stairs in a hallway, I'm going to put a light sensitive outlet down at the bottom, so when it gets dark out, this is going to kick on and act like a night light. I think it ended up looking so cool. So from a completely ruined project to this, I don't think it was too bad, especially since I only used one piece of wood to build the whole entire frame and the sides. So next time your epoxy project fails, don't throw it away. Just keep it around, get creative with it. You'll figure something out. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I will see you guys next time.